Hey there, Paul Carson here with Philadelphia Mortgage Brokers. I just want to take a minute and explain why the VA mortgage product has far and away the best appraisal process in today's market, especially since we're appreciating at such a high level. So the most recent stat I heard today was at this point in the summer of 2021 compared to last summer, home prices have risen 14% year over year. As a result of trying to essentially chase the market on value, most appraisals are coming back with minimal issues. However, not all appraisals are coming back at value since we're seeing values increase. What I specifically want to talk about today is why the VA process is the most flexible in an appreciating market. And there's not one, but two opportunities to help the appraiser determine the fair market value for that home. Now, these two opportunities present themselves. They do not exist for FHA financing. They also do not exist for conventional or jumbo financing. So it's pretty unique to the VA loan product. First things first, let's take a basic example. Let's say a veteran and they're under contract to buy a home for, let's call it $300,000. Once we have a signed contract, we then get the process started. That contract goes to an appraiser. They see what the contract is, and it's their job to take a look and see if is that veteran, that buyer, paying a fair market value for the home. So they do their thing. At that point, if they can justify the value $300K, they put the report together, it comes back. More times often than not, comes back no issues. What we're seeing, if at that first opportunity for the appraiser, when they're looking at value for comparables, if they are having a hard time justifying that $300,000 contract price, they're then going to essentially throw a red flag and go, hey, everybody involved in the transaction, we are invoking Tidewater. And what Tidewater is the appraiser asking the listing agent and the buyer agent for help and going, please give us your best comparables that you have available, top three, not four, not five, top three comparables that you've used in your CMA and your comparative market analysis to help determine the value of this property. So once they invoke Tidewater, 48 hours, we have 48 hours to get those comps, submit them back to the appraiser, and they will actually receive those back and put those in the report. If they're usable and valid, they will address those and include those in. If for some reason they're not usable, for whatever reason, they will make their comments and include those as well. So let's say we go through Tidewater and the value still comes in short of our $300,000 contract price. Let's say it comes in at $290. Let me back up. As part of Tidewater, we don't know where the appraiser is standing on value. We just know that they're having a hard time getting to that contract price. What that means is more or less like a closed book test. It's going, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Agents on both sides, on the buy side and the list side, give us help with comps. We can't tell you where we're at, but certainly if you've done your job effectively, you're going to have comparables that can help place an accurate value on the property. So once we're past that point of Tidewater, if the value doesn't come back to contract, we then get a copy of the report. We can see the body of work. We can check out the comps that are being used. We can then see whatever other comps are submitted, the feedback on those and what those look like. So let's say now we get the appraisal back. We have a value of $290K and we have a $300K sales price, but we have a second opportunity to take a look at this report and see what we're missing. Is everything accurate? Are there any material things on the report that are inaccurate? Or we may be missing a half bathroom? Is something in this house not comparable to another? Once we have the report back in our hands, it gives us a better opportunity to really do a deep dive on the data there and see what we're working with. If at that point we can then see what we're working with and there are other comps or there is other information that can help determine the appropriate value, you can do what's called an ROV, a reconsideration of value. So given this new information, we can submit that back to the appraiser and the VA underwriter and essentially go to them and say, hey, here's some new information that could have a possible effect on the value. Something was missed, or a comparable that settled, didn't hit the MLS for whatever reason. Oftentimes, sometimes data trails in the real estate world by the time it gets recorded or marked in the system as such. So long story short, VA process has two opportunities to work with appraisers during the process if we're falling short on value. So the nice part about that is we don't have those opportunities on FHA and conventional. All we do is we get a report back that has a number on it, and then we kind of have to backtrace a little bit. So if you have questions about the VA process, specifically the appraisal process or anything related to us, feel free to reach out to us at phillymb.com.